Toyota, let's go places. Philip Grubauer defending in net to our left. Ilya Sorokin in net to our right as we are underway. The puck behind the Kraken net. Off now to the far boards, kept in by Scott Mayfield. Chips this one behind the cage. Hayden Fleury is there, trying to hand off for Mark Giordano, but taken away, and Brock Nelson. Back onto the point now for Mayfield. His shot got on through, and a save made by Grubauer.
The stakes are raised in this grand U.S. Division battle and presentation of WHL hockey. A great one on tap for you from the Coliseum in Portland. The Seattle Thunderbirds take on the Portland Winterhawks. Welcome inside once again. Glad to have you along. Mike Benton alongside Andy Johnson. Andy, right now, the story, don't got to go too far for it. The Winterhawks, as of this point, magic number is 3 to get home ice advantage. These two teams, second and third in the U.S. Division, and Seattle is right behind them.
I mean, they're playing great hockey right now. I'm fired up for tonight. You can't ask for anything more than this. Only 2 weeks to go in the regular season. You take a look at the playoff picture. If it were to start today, this is how it would look. Portland holding on to the 3 seed. Seattle, as you mentioned, Mike, only 3 points behind them. But the key difference there is Kelowna and Vancouver. 28 points separates those two teams. So they're in a vicious fight for that 3rd seed to make sure that first-round matchup's going to be just that much easier.
Conference standings brought to you by Fred Meyer. Fresh for everyone. Seattle right now, if the playoffs began today, would face Kelowna. They have lost just 5 times on home ice in regulation. It is right now a sprint for prime positioning. Last night, Portland, a big win, a wild win at Everett. Seattle beating Tri-City and holding them off before it was too late.
Seattle's now won 4 straight games since losing that back-to-back weekend series against Portland 2 weeks ago. So they're playing great hockey. You point to Portland, I mean, down 2 with 5 minutes to go. You score a goal with 12 seconds left to send it to OT. So both teams are playing great, and we should be in store for 60 fun minutes tonight.
Portland has won 8 of 12 matchups between these two teams. Could there be more in store down the line as far as playoffs? What a matchup that would be. More to come as we get set for puck drop from the Rose Quarter.
From the NHL draft in Vancouver, Gianni Fairbrother, the first silver tip off the board. Now with Montreal in the 3rd round. Gianni, what's this day mean to you? Dustin Wolf, Gianni Fairbrother, and Bryce Kindop trying to add their names to that list after Connor Dewar, Riley Sutter, and Wyatt Wiley were taken in last summer's draft in Dallas, Texas.
Audio curtain rising inside Climate Pledge Arena. Great to be home tonight. The end of 3 games in 4 days as the Seattle Kraken take on the New York Islanders. Glad to have you. Mike Benton filling in for the moment. Everett Fitz, who's back shortly. Dave Tomlinson also with us as well. Dave, no time to sleep. Back-to-back games. It's go time once again.
It certainly is, and it looks like Dave Haxtell has taken a little note from the Vancouver Canucks. Haxtell's going to start his 4th line in this game. The Canucks did that last game and scored, to see if he can't get his team right into this one early.
Opening face-off powered by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. Philip Grubauer defending in net to our left. Ilya Sorokin in net to our right as we are underway. The puck behind the Kraken net. Off now to the far boards, kept in by Scott Mayfield. Chips this one behind the cage. Hayden Fleury is there, trying to hand off for Mark Giordano, but taken away, and Brock Nelson. Back onto the point now for Mayfield. His shot got on through, and a save made by Grubauer. Rebound to the right corner, Bellows. Turnaround bid was knocked down. The Kraken trying to exit the zone, and a good cross-ice pass. Morgan Geekie flung this one all the way back into the Islander end. First change here for Dave Axtell's bunch, as this one now chipped ahead by Marcus Johansson. Off the stick of Kiefer Bellows is taken away. A shot by McCann just wide of the net. And a rebound just out of the reach of Jordan Eberle. Great look on the opening few seconds by Jared McCann. This puck cleared back out.
Oh, you'd like to force the goalie to make a save and follow up on the rebound, but a giveaway is capitalized on by the Kraken. Maybe a sign of things to come.
Jamie Oleksiak and Adam Larson back on this defensive pair as Oleksiak dumps it back in. Noah Dobson's there for the Islanders and chips this one ahead to center ice. We're back along by Cal Clutterbuck. The Kraken are there. Oleksiak now on the regroup. Larson right side, chip back in behind the Islander net. Sorokin is there. Kraken again go for a change ahead of the play as a big Zdeno Chara, already outlasting 2 decades, 2 full decades of his NHL tenure. This one dumped back in and played by Grubauer behind the cage. Jeremy Lauzon's there off to the nearest side, and Yanni Gourde trying to cautiously regroup as Vince Dunn back alongside Lauzon. Long headman toss. Yanni Gourde's there, but a pass skitters away from Austin Zarnik in his revenge game, so to speak, against the New York Islanders. Was an Islander about 3 weeks ago. And a puck back into the Kraken end. Vince Dunn along with Jeremy Lozon regrouping once again. Dunn's long toss misses Zarnik. Down it goes. And it goes for an icing call. 18:05 to go in period one. I pass the baton back off. Now for the call, Everett Fitzhugh.
What'd I miss?
A ton.
No score, third period. No one sitting down to the Coliseum. Marcus Dillon, penalty shot on Thomas Millets. Swings in left side, waits, backhand, score! Marcus Dillon gets the first one. A penalty shot goal, and it was a beauty. 1-0 Winterhawks. Beautiful control, and Wiley ahead to center ice for Gonsalves. Possible 3-on-2, shorthanded. Gonsalves into the zone to Foster out of the slot. He scores!
Portland hanging on to a one-goal cushion off the draw. Svejkovsky shoots, just dribbling wide. Loose puck, Konashko. Play back, Svejkovsky to Korchinski. Left side, Davidson fires. He scores! Do you believe it? All tied up. 31.9 to go. Jared Davidson. A back-to-back extra attacker goals. It's his 28th. We're tied 2-2.
For Spokane, Ty Smith leads the charge. The center ice head man Zumak right wing and crunched against the boards right side by Wyatt Wiley.
Nearby is Richards. Taken away by Wedman. Tip's got to get back on the attack. Wedman right side. 3-on-3. Wrist shot save made. Barker rebound. What a glove save by Connor Hart.
First attempt of his career. Left-handed shot cuts in for the right. Busts in on net. Waits. Backhand score! Oh my! What a move by Gage Gonsalves!
As it's thrown back, Lacombe point shot. Knocked down by Ulsher. And the Winterhawks push this one ahead to center. Marcus Nowen knocked down. And tripping up Lacombe. This one goes uncalled once again. They're just going to let him play on, it seems, at this point, Andy.
I think both teams thought there for a moment on either side there should have been a penalty called. Both teams upset. Maybe it isn't a 4-on-4 situation. And a shout out to Merrick Ulsher for taking one to the chest like Happy Gilmore.
Here's Bevington from the corner. Deflection in front. They score! All the bounces going the way of the Winterhawks right now. Last touch, I believe, Josh Morey. It's his second. It's 4-0 Portland.
How about this bottom line for Portland? Bevington starting it. Morey in there, a defenseman who's jumping up as a forward tonight, playing as an extra body. As he's just going to, Bevington that is, hold the puck and flick one out in front of the net. And it's just going to bounce around. And Morey, I guess, is the last one to get his stick on it. But you said it great, partner. Sometimes bounces are going your way. And this has been Portland's night. You put bodies in front of the net, you score a greasy goal, and just like that, you're up 4-0.
So Dero, Clausen, and now Josh Morey has entered the chat. It is his second goal of the season. And Seattle desperate to look for anything as far as a spark. But it has all come up roses, part of the expression here in the Rose Quarter for the team wearing the red jersey. Along to center ice, Ryder Thompson looking for cross-handers. Spun away, Hansel lets it go for Svejkovsky. A puck out of the reach of Connor Roulette. And Ryder Thompson back to play. It's Jack O'Brien along to center. Right wing from Delorme. Knocked away Konashko. Loose puck kept in. Ryan McCleary throwing him back of the goal. From Delorme, centering attempt jammed away. Korchinski back to play. It's Svejkovsky to the neutral zone. Left side for Connor Roulette. Off for Svejkovsky. A backhander wide of the net. Dero up the left wing. Along for Clausen as Portland counters. Just escaping the hit of Tyrell Bauer. Korchinski far boards kept in. Dero plays this one around now. Blocker side corner of Millage. Left side Dero already with 2 goals, shoots it wide of the net. So Josh Morey at 3-11 from Bevington and Shelter.
to make it 4-0, and if Portland gets one more, this is turning into a runaway.
And what a big win this would be in regulation for Portland. We started the broadcast highlighting how important that third seed is in the Western Conference. You want that favorable matchup in the first round. You want to stay away from Kelowna if you can in the opening round of the playoffs. So Portland feels like if they can get 2 points tonight and get a win in regulation, you move 5 points up on Seattle with only 4 games to go in the regular season, and that's why tonight was so important, and Seattle's going to have to find a way to climb uphill. But both these teams know that they're capable of not only blowing leads, but also climbing back into games. Seattle let Tri-City back into the game last night. Portland had a game against Vancouver. They were down 6-0 and scored 5 unanswered goals, so no lead is ever safe in the WHL.
This one thrown back in by the Winterhawks. Offside is the call as we take a look here at our special teams report, and we touched on this already with penalty killing, Andy. Very strong for these two teams. That sets themselves up well here for playoff time.
It really does. The penalty killing, both top 4 of the WHL, virtually tied there at 3rd and 4th. The power play unit, Seattle is great on the road at 30%, number 1 in the Western Hockey League. Portland slightly higher than them overall in the season, but Seattle hasn't had the chance many times this year to have that top power play unit out there because of injuries.
Special teams report brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. Stop freaking. Call Beacon. I've always wanted to say that. Taking the cue from Marshawn Lynch and Bobby Wagner. 14:27 to go as now Rybinski in back of the goal trying to shake off Jack O'Brien. Left corner Gabe Ludwig. This is now Rybinski threading one back. Open is Konashko. Low to the net and turned away by Gauthier. Popowich drilled him back in the cage. The battle in the trenches continue here as a loose puck to Jack O'Brien.
Another one Seattle's bench was not happy about. They thought that should have been a penalty.
Loose puck side of the goal as Schaefer. Into the right corner trying to support Popowich as he was dealing with Jack O'Brien. Threaded back out of the reach of Korchinski. Into the Seattle zone it goes, and Portland gets a wholesale change.
Yes, it's one of those nights where everything Portland does, they just seem one step ahead of Seattle. The passing has been clean. They're winning those 50-50 battles. They're winning the battles along the boards, and it's something when all those things are going in your favor, you look up at the scoreboard, you're going to find yourself up 4-0.
Korchinski and Bauer back on defense as Davidson turns it over. Clausen returned to center. Bauer is there trying to bump it in. Portland takes it back, and Clausen just missing one as he had Korchinski a step ahead. Reed Schaefer. Cross ice, Jared Davidson. He's flattened now by Ryder Thompson. Portland bench reacts to that hit. A couple of Ric Flair chances, sounds like, that came off that bench as well. 12:53 to go here in this second period. This one's dashed back in by the Winterhawks. Bauer back to play. Long row back on recovery from injury is now a giveaway. Lidke brings it in, shot up high, save is made. Heads up, Thomas Milic. He lost the helmet. And both goaltenders are even now as far as that loose bucket. Back in a moment, the Winterhawks with the first 4 on the board in this one.